Welcome to the Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. We are here every Saturday to highlight local entrepreneurs and small business owners and to learn how they succeed to build their businesses from the ground up. What are their challenges and what are their victories? Jeanette, how are you this morning?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So today's show, we're going to have Enrique Calderon on. He is the owner of Evolution Heating and Air in Turlock. And actually, I'm in Modesto, but they come out and they service my stuff. So I'm actually on a plan. So we'll have to ask them about that. So they come out, like in the summertime to service my AC, and then they come out in the wintertime and they look at my heater and make sure everything's good to go.
I got one up on you. He put a brand new, complete air conditioning system in my house with dual controls for upstairs and downstairs.
Nice.
And then it was also a payment plan. And that's a little bigger ticket item. And thank God we had it this summer. This summer was so hot. I remember that. Last summer it was more tepid weather, but
it was, yeah.
Oh, I would have just absolutely died because I do work from home a couple of days a week. And then they found out that the duct system, there's like a third garage, but when we built the house, it had an option to make it like an office or a bedroom. And so we had it made into my son Ben's bedroom and with his own bathroom that goes out to one of the back patios. And the duct system just didn't seem to connect there. So I ended up buying a separate unit that ended up attaching, the kind of unit that they kind of like have in Europe or something. So I'm going to ask Enrique to explain that. But now his room is the coldest room in the house.
Oh, really?
But I go in there, and maybe it's our Swedish heritage, but his friends are all sitting with blankets up to their chins playing video games. He likes it cold. I think he has it set for like 67 degrees at all times.
Oh, but, so that's why your bill's so high then.
No. Actually, my bill has basically been staying the same even when I got the new unit.
Oh, okay.
Because, these are more energy efficient than some of the
that's
other
true.
Units.
Yeah.
And since it cools it down right away and it's a small space, then it just shuts off and the room stays cold.
Oh,
it's not like it's having to run. Plus, they're playing video games. He's got blackout curtains.
Oh, well, actually, I do too, but that's because I work nights.
Oh,
so,
yeah. So he came all the way up to Linden. But I think that's because we're Gold Star members together. See, this is why Gold Star is good. Because with Gold Star, you get to know and like and trust other business owners.
Yeah.
And when you call them, they go, sure, I'll drive an hour and a half up there.
So we'll find out what the service areas are too. So, yeah, we got a lot of questions for Enrique this morning. So,
yeah, and then my sister, I stopped by my sister's house and she goes, oh, well, thank God my air conditioning is finally working again. I go, what do you mean your air conditioning wasn't working? I said, I got a guy. You should have called me. I could have gotten someone out there right away. And then she goes, no, I'm talking about my car. But that's the whole thing. When we hear something, because we get to know business owners in the area, and that's what this show does too. We're introducing you to people that are in the area, who they are, so you kind of feel like you know them, and I've used his services. So, it becomes a better recommendation.
Yeah, and like I said, I haven't had anything big happen, so which I'm thankful for. But I think the service, we'll talk about how important that is, just to have you come, just have them come out every, twice a year.
I was without air conditioning since 2005. I was without
that's brutal.
Yes, with 7 kids, and and all of us, as my oldest is 18. I had a lot in diapers, and they were just. But thankfully, we did have a swimming pool. But
still,
yeah, I tried everything, during those. But being self-employed, and my husband, was self-employed, it's feast or famine, and you just don't have that kind of money.
So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. So I'm looking forward to this because, like I said, everybody needs heating and air. You want to have a good guy that comes on, that you can trust.
And that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
If I recommend someone, it's not just like from some kind of commercial or, and I've seen their ads. When I recommend a person, I'm putting my reputation on the line. And so I got to make sure that when I do recommend them, that they're going to be honest. Otherwise, it takes a long time to build a reputation. And it takes one person to mess things up and you ruin the whole reputation, then it would ruin my reputation. And I, with confidence, can say, call Enrique. In fact, I'm going to call Enrique. And you know what? His office staff, they're wonderful too. Someone answers the phone. He's got a location where you can walk in. And I know he does a great job. When they came out to my house, I got a text message, showed exactly who was coming with his picture. And so on my phone, and so very professional. But it's a struggle. I mean, he started, and it's a struggle to become a business owner. So, I mean, I'd like to hear some of his background story and getting started in business yourself and all of those things. So we'll find out about Enrique because, I mean, air conditioning is only so exciting. But from him, that's when I found out about this unit that can be used for offices, or the one that we put in my son's house. And now when I see things in their shows in Europe, I'm going, oh my gosh, they have the unit that Benjamin has in his bedroom. So, find out about your options are so much more. And in fact, I have a friend that's up in the foothills. She bought a 3-story house. But you got to figure it's one of those that sits on a hillside. So it's not like each one shoots out kind of like from the hillside.
Yeah.
But it didn't come with air conditioning. But then it's kind of like, well, we spend most of our time on this floor. I don't know if I want to get a whole unit, etc. So I actually recommended to her that she should call Enrique, because then she could have a separate unit. And when they are downstairs in the game room, all of a sudden it's like they could turn that unit on. So, there's so many options these days.
Yeah.
But also, the industry is changing, and we're in California. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that also. Do we change out units now? What's going to be made illegal? What is the future of air conditioning?
Yeah. Well, we need it here in California. I do know that much, especially here in the Valley.
In the Valley.
Yeah. And I know when you have 2-3-story houses, heat rises. So those floors are a lot harder to control temperature-wise.
Well, my unit is mainly on upstairs because downstairs I have the back doors open with pets running in and out, and we go swimming. So forget about that one. So, but then it's interesting. It used to be as I walked upstairs, the air would get thicker and thicker and hotter and hotter. Now, as I'm walking upstairs, it gets cooler and cooler. And since I've been spending time downstairs, as I walk into my room, it's freezing, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, I'm warm-blooded, so the colder the better for me. Like I usually have my house set at 72. So, so I like
it was
my
a hot
house cold.
summer.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing. My daughter lives in the Bay Area, and she was always going like, well, Mom, here in the Bay Area, we don't have to have air conditioning. It's so nice and cool. And, this summer, she's going, Mom, I have 2 days off. Can I please come home because it's just so hot. I can't be here in my apartment. So, yeah.
All right, so we have Enrique Calderon, owner of Evolution Heating and Air, coming on, and he's going to talk to us. And then also too, I think he's caught a couple of things where like there was like a carbon monoxide leak or something like that before, to where you have to replace the units.
Oh yeah, he found out that my ductwork from 24 years ago didn't extend out to that extra bedroom. That there was no way that my son's bedroom was ever going to be cool enough.
Yeah. Ooh, wow. So let's get Enrique in here, and we'll go ahead and ask him some questions. So when we come back, we have Enrique Calderon coming on. This is the Small Business Voice on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Stay with us.
Here we go.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Reach out for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email us at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. And our guest today is Enrique Calderon. He is the owner of Evolution Heating and Air out of Turlock, California. Enrique, how you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming on. So I know Jeanette's got a lot of questions, but I'll just kind of start off with a basic one. How did you get started in this industry? How long have you been doing it for?
Well, honestly, I just fell into it when I got out of high school back in 2002. I wasn't sure what to do with my life. working in a grocery store in the meat department. Looked to the left, looked to the right. There was two older gentlemen, happy, making $8 an hour. I said, "This is not for me."
Oh no.
The mentality
So
of young
I-
people.
Yeah, so I just basically quit my job. Told my dad, "Hey, I quit my job." He said, "Okay, now what?" I said, "Well, I think I want to get into heating and air." Found a trade school, went to it. 5 months later, got my certificate, got into the trade. Then
So I have to ask you there, why heating and air? It's kind of like if my son came home and says, I quit my job, and I'd say, well, now what are you going to do? He's not just like going to go, oh, well, I'm going to be an airplane mechanic. It's like what made a young person straight out of high school? Had you heard about it? Had someone come to your high school? Did you know someone that was making good money? I mean, how did you pick that? I mean, it's
Well,
kind of unusual.
I wanted to do something hands-on. My first choice was auto mechanic, but I didn't really find that I don't know, drive for it. So then I heard about heating and air conditioning, that there was a trade school, and I said, "Oh, let me look into it and see."
And
how
everybody
it goes.
has heat in their house, and it's
Yeah,
something
what-
that's steady. And
What's crazy is that I grew up with no air conditioning. The house where I lived in had no AC.
Oh wow.
oh, yeah, same thing. Me for 24
Did you
20 years.
at least have a pool or something like that?
No,
No,
we
wow.
had nothing, just some sprinklers outside.
Okay.
Those are fun.
So so how do you go from heating and air, like working for somebody, to owning your own business?
Yeah, what was that step that you said, I'm going to do this on my own? Because there's a lot of people out there. And we were talking about that, off camera, that when it comes to entrepreneurs, there takes that step of saying one day, I can do this myself. But that's scary. How old were you, and what transitioned you into your own business?
So I got into the trade back in 2002. So that's 22 years ago. I worked for a couple different companies throughout my career. I got to a point in life where I was stuck where I was at already. I felt that I was pretty much running their business, that I pretty much had a good idea about it.
Saying I can do this myself.
So then I decided to try to open up a business. So
Did you start doing side work first to see?
Well,
because that's a big step.
honestly, I'll be honest with you. Every technician that does heating and air conditioning, they end up doing side work here and there just because people know what you do.
So they call you over.
Yeah, they call you
Yeah.
over. They have you check their AC and stuff. But side work, like I tell people, it's. I mean, you make some money here and there, but it's. There's a lot of responsibility behind it. If something goes wrong, you're liable for what
Yeah,
goes
you don't have the
wrong.
insurances to back you
so
up.
I truly tell people, even my employees, I tell them, if you want to do side work, that's on you. I cannot stop you what you do on your own time. But there's just responsibility behind it, and you're going to have to take actions if something happens.
Yeah, especially if you own anything. It's kind of like you own something and you don't have, me being the insurance person, you don't have the insurance. Now, it's kind of like I've said this story before, when my husband wouldn't pay his commercial truck insurance, I'd say, yeah, you're driving with insurance on the truck. You're driving with our house, our kids' college, food, everything is sitting on the front of that truck. So, yes, definitely.
Correct. So then back in 2016, I just got to a point in my career where I just wasn't comfortable working for someone anymore, and I had told my wife, hey, I think I'm just going to try to get my contractor license and try to go on my own. I told her, if I get a job here or there, we'll try to stay busy.
Yeah, to be self-employed, you should have your licenses so you can get the insurance. And what was your wife's, where were you in your state at that time with your wife? Did you have kids yet? Did you own a house yet? Because, that's a big decision.
Yeah. No, we had our kids. We had 2 at the moment. Now we have 3. Our little one's 5 years old. So this was about 8 years ago. We didn't own. We were renting. So it was scary, but at the time it was something that I knew I had to do. So I went, took the test. We passed the test.
Because your wife was right
Right,
there.
yeah.
She was helping you study
Right.
and
And I'll be honest with you, I right away I just got blessed. You know, God took care of us. We just got overwhelmed with work. I did not want to hire anyone right away,
yeah,
but
that's
it didn't.
That's a tough transition because you get in any, whether you're a painter or a landscaper or whatever, you get to that point where you have so much work you need to hire someone. But when you hire someone, then you got payroll, and now you've cut into your own money, but you can't grow unless you're able to duplicate yourself
Right.
to go on more jobs. But there's that transition where you're making less money when you're expanding.
Right. So it's in about a month into it, I had to get a helper. So then I hired someone, and this was about 8 years ago. And
Did you train them or did you hire
no,
someone with knowledge?
I trained them. I trained them. My employees, most of my employees that I have, I train. All I ask for is someone that really wants to learn,
Yeah.
and because we all deserve the opportunity to learn.
Like you did. You found
Yeah.
that you wanted to do something and giving that. And that's a lot of times people forget that employers, we give careers sometimes and
Correct.
teach people. And even though sometimes nice hiring someone that knows what they're doing, they've learned from somebody else and they might be bringing some things in that, well, at my last job, we did it this way. Well, that's not your last job.
Yeah. So,
So I'm glad that you're training.
you're listening to Small Business Voice with Just Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. And we're here today with Enrique Calderon, owner of Evolution Heating and Air. If you're having air conditioning problems or heater problems, give them a call at 209-216-7240, or you can email them at evolutionair@yahoo.com. And then you're out of Turlock. Your address is 1220 South Walnut Road. And what areas do you, like how far, what's your radius really quick?
So we cover from Stockton to about Madera.
Okay.
We have a great team. It's a total of 2 office girls, myself, and 11 guys in the field.
Okay.
So you have grown.
We have grown.
I'm, that's the whole thing. You started with this one helper, and that was like 1 month in. So you were truly blessed.
Yes.
And you were still basically home based because you were working from home. So were
Correct.
people texting you? Was your wife answering phones and setting appointments? How did that work?
It's hard with kids. My wife, we talk about the business and stuff, but honestly, I've told other people, I think if she was involved in the business, we wouldn't be together.
It's tough.
It's one of those things that, I always share ideas and we talk about what's going on. But I told her to focus on the kids, raise the kids. I told her, let me worry about the financial. Let me worry about making sure that we have food on the table and making sure that everything's getting taken care of. And she's done a great job on her end.
Oh yeah.
So
I
it's
think
a job. It's a
relief.
full-time job.
Well, yeah, it's a
for
relief
her.
from you because when something happens to say with the kids, you have that security that portion of your life is taken care of, and so you don't have to worry. You can concentrate on your business, growing your business. So that first year you had a helper. And 1 year into your business, when did you actually get what they call a brick and mortar? When did you start hiring more? And right now you were just doing residential, right?
Yes.
Just homes.
Yes. So I think about 3 years into it, that's when we started getting real busy. That's when we hired more people to come aboard. And then I ended up getting a shop in Turlock in 2020.
The one you have now or a different one?
That's where we're at right now. And that's the scary part. And every business owner having to say, oh, man, I'm going to have another bill having to pay a rent or a mortgage on it. But that's the best move you can ever do. Just having a building to say,
And it's a
this
decision.
is my office.
Yeah.
Not just that, but me being able to leave work there and go home is such a relief.
Yeah, I want to talk about a little bit of the, like the balance and when you make that decision, because there's a lot of business owners out there. And, when someone, a painter, for example, starts and they end up, they're basically home-based. So hold that thought. I want to go through this transition and how it's going now for the benefit of other people out there that are thinking, can I do it? And what does that road look like?
So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. And we're here today with Enrique Calderon, owner of Evolution Heating and Air. If you're having air conditioning problems or heater problems, give them a call at 209-216-7240, or you can email them at evolutionair@yahoo.com. Stay with us.
Cispro Innovations, connecting local businesses with local families. Display your services and products with our pay-as-you-go optimized website design program and boost your brand's online presence with our affordable social media marketing tools. To learn more, visit our website at cisproinnovation.com. That's Cispro, Sisbro, innovation.com.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Reach out to us for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email me at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. You can pull up any of our past shows on the iHeartRadio app. Just search and follow the Small Business Voice. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube, and connect with me on LinkedIn. And my wonderful guest host is a fellow small business owner, Jeanette, owns an Allstate agency in Turlock, California. Call Jeanette at 209-667-2222 or email her at JeanetteForni@allstate.com. And we are back with Enrique Calderon. He is the owner of Evolution Heating and Air. He can be reached at 209-216-7240, or you can email him at evolutionair@yahoo.com, or maybe visit the office. Is that fine? Okay, so 1220 South Walnut Road in Turlock, California. So, real quick, how'd you come up with Evolution Heating and Air, like the name? I always liked that name.
The HVAC industry has been evolving, so I just found that it would be a perfect fit for it.
Oh, okay.
A lot of business owners end up putting their last name.
Yeah.
I didn't. I just wanted something that, if in, I don't know, let's say 20 years down the road, I wanted to sell the business.
Give it to your son.
Or something, it's something
daughter.
that, if it's for any.
That makes me, the whole thing is an evolution just when you're self-employed. And like we left off the last segment is you made that big leap to the point that you finally got an office. And that is scary because evolution or things changing. I was actually talking to a staff member and they said, God, with insurance, it always changes. And I said, if you do not like change, don't come to work for insurance. But same thing, you've gone through an evolution of making that big step, then taking the next step. And then you have employees. So you almost become responsible for other people's families. And you have been blessed. But a lot of times when you're saying you have been blessed, I think blessings come from the word of mouth. People trust you. You build a reputation. That's what's built your business. But also my rent just went up on my office. So that is all of your overhead, of all of your expenses. They just keep going up and up and up. And then you're in a thing like if you don't change or evolve, then you're going to make less and less money every single year. And some people don't understand that. They're going like, well, they keep raising the prices. Well, what do you think happened to the rent? What do you think is happening to PG&E?
Yeah, it's cause and effect, yeah.
It's exactly. So I'm so blessed that you have basically you're supporting 11 families and you have your employees. You train them yourself. So you started in with residential. And when you did my house, it was interesting because you did I can have it cooler upstairs. I can have it shut downstairs. But then, like you said, the industry is evolving. And I have this unit in my son's room, and it's something that they have in Europe, and that wasn't very expensive at all. And so how is the air conditioning industry, like everything else, probably in California more so than in Kansas. How is it changing? Because I know that just years ago they were saying, well, you can't buy this, you can't use these kind of gases, etc. And so why don't we give an insight into what's going on with that evolution?
So let me tell you my end, what I do, why I went into business, why I'm usually the person that goes out and looks at these homes.
Yeah, you came out to my house.
So a lot of the time, homeowners think that because they have a furnace in the hallway, they have to keep that furnace there. And I always ask, when it turns on, does it bother you? Does it make a lot of noise? They say, oh my gosh, it's horrible. We can't even hear the TV, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, wow.
I tell them, well, there's options. There's options, and that's where I come in. I say, well, if you're going to replace this unit, why not possibly put a unit on the roof? You get rid of this equipment in the closet. Mm-hmm. Now you can make this closet into an actual closet to store stuff. We try to find solutions. We always try to see what other option there is to make the house more efficient and more comfortable for the people living in it. Like Jeanette's house, since day one when they built the house, how big is your house?
Just about 3,000.
3,000 square
But it
feet.
has a lot of, like 7 bedrooms. I mean,
So-
there's a lot of vents everywhere.
Her house technically needed 2 units. Mm-hmm. They only installed one 5-ton unit that's max capacity.
Yeah, and they told me, you're not going to need 2 units. And or they said, your unit isn't big enough. And then I'm like, well, how big does the unit have to be? And they go, oh, you have the max unit. I mean, it was just like, we as homeowners, it just was so incredibly, I mean, the prices like I quoted, they want to sell me 2 units and redo all of my ductwork, everything. And then came Enrique.
So Jeanette's house, the unit she had was for about a 2,000 square foot home. Mm-hmm. It was never going to be comfortable. It was never going to cool properly. It was just not done right. So then when I went out there, I told her, well, listen, this is what I would do if it was my house. I told her, instead of a 5-ton, I'm going to put in a 4-ton. She's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Because
I'm gonna be sweating.
now we're going to downsize the unit.
Yeah.
I told her, we're going to downsize the unit, but we're going to zone the house. We're going to put 2 thermostats, one upstairs, one downstairs. We're going to put what's called a zoning board and mechanical dampers. So when upstairs is calling for cooling, downstairs damper closes and shoots all the air upstairs.
Okay.
Vice versa. As she said earlier, her house is comfortable now. So there's solutions to everything. There's options. Sometimes we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just trying to see what ways we can make this more efficient for the customer.
And I'm thinking the unit you put in my son's room, because the ductwork didn't go in there.
Correct.
And I'm thinking one of those units, like downstairs in the living room, because I have an open concept, it would have just cooled the whole downstairs.
Correct.
So, I mean, and that unit did not cost very much.
Yeah,
Now
so-
my son's is a walk-in freezer.
Yeah.
But
So in her son room, what we installed, it's called a mini split. It's a ductless AC. It's there's different options nowadays. There's a wall mount unit, there's a ceiling unit, and there's a floor unit as well, goes down low. So these are for different configurations in the
and his
homes.
sits up on the wall,
On
but
the
you can't even see it. I mean, it just kind of like blends into the wall.
Yeah,
it's
there's-
not
there's-
big at all, but it just
They're
kicks
super
cold
quiet,
air.
super efficient. So
That's great.
here in California, not just in California, in the United States, we're going through a transition that by 2030, they're not going to sell gas furnaces anymore. So you got to go all electric. Mm-hmm. Now, let me tell you my experience from these units, all electric units. If you get the right one, it's going to be fabulous. It's going to save you a lot of money. They're super quiet. In my home, I went electric back in 2019. I installed an inverter heat pump unit. When you get your unit replaced at home, make sure that they're giving you an inverter heat pump unit. These do not require backup heat. They're good to about 5 degrees Fahrenheit, and they will work up to 90% capacity. So at our area, we do not get down to 5 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. We're here with Enrique Calderon, owner of Evolution Heating and Air. He can be reached at 209-216-7240, or you can email him at evolutionair@yahoo.com.
I love my son's units and now, but I will tell you, it's kind of scary because they can shut off your electricity, and but they can't shut off the gas. And I'm old school, but there's so many changes
Right.
happening.
But we see the writing on the wall. We see all these electric vehicles. Now they have electric big rigs. It's happening. It's nothing we can do about it. It's coming. It's going to happen.
But right
no
now
matter
it's
what.
getting cooler. So now's the time I should get my ducts cleaned, right?
Well,
to make everything
here
work?
here at Evolution Heating and Cooling, we do a lot. We don't just do unit replacements or servicing. We do air duct cleaning. We do attic insulation removal. We do new attic insulation blow-in.
Oh, so that's like,
do
are
air
those like separate?
purifying.
I know you have dust busters. Is
Yes,
that?
yes,
And that
yes.
goes in and cleans all of the ducts for
Correct,
more optimum, especially in the wintertime. Somebody says you don't get sick because it's cold. You get sick because of all the air that you're breathing with windows closed.
Well, here in the valley, we have horrible air quality. They say that when your house is enclosed, that the air inside the house is 10 times worse than the outdoor air.
So now's the time to call you and have my ducts cleaned
Yeah,
for
there's-
more efficiency.
correct.
God, so
correct.
much information, and people don't
Yeah.
even think about these things, but they should definitely call you. I trust you. You're the only one that I would, call because I know you, and you do great work. You're honest. Everyone else tried to sell me 2 units. Everyone else tried to sell me something that was going to cost me $30,000, and I couldn't afford it. So I've been so hot. If I would have called you, you would have given me a solution, which really worked for me.
Well, that's a reason why I went into business on my own as well, because I wanted to provide a honest business that.
And I was able to make payments.
Yeah, correct. So we do have financing options.
That's big.
Yeah, and we actually do have financing for some repairs. So it's even we have financing for customers with struggling credit.
Okay.
So if you're one of those and you've been declined,
And you do
Give
new
us a
construction now too, right? Not so much.
we
or-
do custom homes. We do a
Oh,
lot of air
perfect.
conditioning for custom homes. Yes.
All right. Well, Enrique, thank you for coming on today. Maybe we have you on again in the future. It was fun. It's nice having you.
No,
So
thank
much
you for
information.
inviting me.
Yeah.
So much.
No, and there's still a lot more to talk about, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there is. And, bless your wife and your children for being that rock so that you would be able to pursue your dreams. I remember one time when I quit my job and my husband looked at me and said, "We're going to starve." I mean, that's exactly what he ended
Yeah.
up saying. So it takes a partnership to really be supportive of someone going into self-employment.
yeah. So just want to let you know that we do have free second opinions if you don't feel comfortable
Oh, nice.
with something that someone quoted you. Reach out to us. We'll definitely send one of our guys out there, no charge, to go check it out, and we'll give you an option on repairing, and if it needs to be replaced, then an option on replacing. But right now, either or we're okay with.
I'm so glad
right.
I met you, and I'm so glad
Yeah, me
that I
too.
have air conditioning because you weren't that second opinion. It was just everyone that came. I couldn't afford it. What they wanted to do to the house, I couldn't afford it. And you came in and said, no, there's another option. And I'm very happy.
All right.
Thank
so,
you.
Enrique, thank you for coming on today. So you're listening to Enrique Calderon. He's the owner of Evolution Heating and Air. He can be reached at 209-216-7240. And you can email him at evolutionair@yahoo.com. His office is 1220 South Walnut Road in Turlock, California. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Stay with us.
Just read your message on my phone. It's turning me on.
This business tip is brought to you by Cispro Innovation. Hi, this is Catherine Ramos, and today we're talking about measurable results and scalability. Tools like Google Analytics can provide insight into your visitors' behaviors, allowing you to adjust your strategies accordingly. You can track which pages are most popular, where your traffic is coming from, and what the average user's journey looks like. As your business grows, your website can ensure that it remains a robust tool for business growth and customer engagement. CISPRO Innovation, where we help local businesses connect with local families. For more information on this tip, check out our blog at CISPROinnovation.com. That's CISPRO, SISBRO, innovation.com.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Reach out to us for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email us at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. You can always pull up any of our past shows in the iHeartRadio app. Just search and follow the Small Business Voice. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube, and connect with me on LinkedIn. And my wonderful guest host is a fellow small business owner. Jeanette owns an Allstate agency over in Turlock, California on Monte Vista. So call her at 209-667-2222 or email her at JeanetteForni@allstate.com. Do you want them to drop into the office too? Or?
Oh, yeah. You know, my
Okay.
staff is also excellent. And, we're there to help, policy reviews, anything's good to get a second opinion.
All right.
I have Guadalupe and Priscilla both speak Spanish. And then there's Allie, and there is Maddie. And then there's also, let's see, did I say, and Pamela. Pamela's my operations
Yeah.
manager. So, yes, definitely stop on in. It's a walk-in.
So the Community Corner is proudly sponsored by Lightspeed Graphics, a creative media agency specializing in video and animation. To get in touch with owner Kurt Gonzalez, simply text him at 209-617-2606 or visit his website at lightspeedgraphics.com. So we have Gold Star referral clubs.
Yeah, so my club, we meet on Tuesday mornings at My Garden Cafe, and that's in Turlock, California. Meet at 7 o'clock in the morning. If you want to be my guest, you're a business owner, and you want to have breakfast with other business owners where we network, come on down, and if I'm there, I'll buy you breakfast.
All right. So they also have this Government Relations Council. This is going to be September 13th, I believe. So I think I made that in time. So Sheriff Jeff Dirksey, Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office, he'll be speaking at the Economic Development Committee. And I got to get an address to see where this is at. I'm pretty sure this is over at the chamber, but I'll follow up with Trish and find out. Or actually, you can call Trish. I think it's 209-577-5757.
That's an easy number to remember.
October 18th, they have Fire Chief Kevin Wise from Modesto Fire Department. In the Economic Development Committee, September 11th, they have Kelly Talent Martin, and I'm hoping I'm saying that right. She is the general manager of the Vintage Fair Mall. October 2nd, they have Toby Wells, Director of Engineering Services for the City of Modesto. And November 6th, they have Dan Lehman. He is the Road Commissioner for Stanislaus County Public Works. And then the second one is they have a Shop Greater Modesto. It's your gateway to local business. So it says, join us celebrating the launch of Shop Greater Modesto, California, an online marketplace designed to champion our thriving local businesses. This is free to their local regional business community, and it's in Spanish and English. And so it says, why sell to Shop Greater Modesto? And it says, or why buy from Shop Greater Modesto? So broaden reach to sales outlets, community-based consumers, online guidance and technical assistance, local goods delivered, support local, and connect and strengthen. If you're a micro business, small business, or entrepreneur, now is the time to showcase your offerings to a wider audience. Make an impact with your business. So give the Chamber a call at 209-577-5757. I would Google Modesto Chamber, get their website. You can go on there.
And just like today, you know how you were saying a micro business. I mean, he got to the point where finally he had to get a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Well, same thing like if you make things or you have crafts or you have a small shop, you don't make enough profit or have enough inventory to be able to get a storefront shop. But it sounds like this is an opportunity to be able to sell from local businesses.
And then you talked about your club. So my club meets Thursdays at noon over at Skewers. Enrique's in your club too, so you guys.
Oh
both
yes,
go. Yeah.
yes,
So if you
exactly. It
want-
was so nice seeing him this
It
morning.
was, yeah, it was, and he does great work, by the way. I mean, he worked on my house, and he works on yours, and
Well, throughout the years, I had gotten, quotes, and they were all going for the high end.
Yeah.
This is how much it's going to cost. And the only reason I didn't go with them is because I didn't have that kind of money.
yeah,
And it was almost like you have to take a second out on your house to get a new air conditioning unit. And Enrique made it happen. And
Yeah.
I was able to pay for it and make payments. So
Good. Nice.
And it's been now 1 full year basically, and the unit's working great.
nice. So you're listening to the Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app.
The main thing is everyone was complaining when we were locked in our houses, etc. And then I even noticed it with like my teenage kids. They got so used to being inside, they're having a hard time going out and just going out and doing things in person. And everyone lives their life online. Online is convenient, but get out there. I mean, we have an opportunity to go out there. There's so many festivals and fairs and everything else. Go out and be part of the community.
Yeah, I think there's always, especially in the summertime. I mean, and it starts in April when you have the LaGrange Rodeo first weekend of April. I think the next weekend is the Oakdale Rodeo, and that one's huge. Mm-hmm. So if you like rodeos, Oakdale's is right there.
Oakdale's rodeo country.
Oh yeah, big time. Escalon has one, I believe, also, and that one's way out McHenry on the
And
left-hand
up
side.
towards my way, there's the Lodi Great Festival, and there's a lot of the ones coming up, the Greek Festival, and so many different things. So
Yeah.
go out there, enjoy the community, get involved in your community, and of course now there's football.
Yeah, oh yeah. Football started.
Yeah, but my son graduated from high school, so now there's no more Friday night lights and no more cheerleading practice from my daughter. And I was driving by the other day and I saw all these moms coming from like the last game on Saturday. It's all the little guys.
Yeah.
And you could tell immediately who won and who lost. This kid is just crying his eyes out. And I'm going, okay, I guess their team lost. And I was thinking to myself, do I really miss these days? I think if I would have had less kids, I
Yeah.
might miss it. But with 7 kids going through everything from baseball, cheer, football, band, everything else, no, I'm done. I mean, I get to have my Saturdays back, my Fridays, no more working snack bar, driving to football games up in Sonora at night. So, but yes, parents, they're out there with their kids, which I think is great.
Yeah.
But for some of the rest of us, let's go out with our grown kids and hit some of these festivals,
Yeah.
even if it's just an hour.
So speaking of local business, I want to give a shout out to Mocha Magic really quick. They're on 16th Street in Modesto.
Oh,
So that's where I do my work on Mondays. I have Mondays off, so I usually get there about 10 o'clock in the morning and stay there till about 3. In fact, I was there till about 3:15. I didn't get chased out, but I could tell that they were closing up. So they closed at 3. So, but I wanted to give a shout out because I'll be honest with you, I've tried working at Starbucks before, but it's so loud. Like they got.
here's where why not work from home? What's the problem at home?
Are you kidding? I got too many distractions. I got 2 dogs now. I got a puppy.
I work great from home.
Oh, do you?
Well,
Oh.
of course, I have an office at home.
Yeah,
I
well,
can
so
close
do
the
I.
door. But my kids also, they know just because mom is home, because I've always, we've always been self-employed, even with my husband, that they know that when just because mom happens to be home does not mean she's home. She
Yeah.
is working. So, I mean, but it takes a lot of self-discipline.
It does. I need to get out of the house.
Yeah.
So I go to Mocha Magic. They have like 10 tables there. I just sit at a table. They got Wi-Fi, and I just do what I need to do. So
You guys heard that? So Mocha Magic, if you want
On
to meet
16th
Justin.
Street? Yeah.
If you want to meet Justin, just go there and bug him.
yeah, I'm there on Monday. So yeah, I'd love to meet you if you want to come out. And I'm usually there drinking a blueberry smoothie.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm down to 263 by the way. So I'm very happy about that.
excellent.
Yes. So anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in each week, and we look forward to having you back next week. A heartfelt shout out to our dedicated producer, Mike Murray, and the general manager of KCBP, Jim Costello, for their invaluable contributions to our show. We also appreciate the hard work of our intern, Tiffany Alex, and Kurt Gonzalez from Lightspeed Graphic Video and Animation for capturing and inspiring our guests and their stories. So he is still on vacation, but he'll be back next week. I think he's going to be sitting in for you, actually.
Yes, Allstate. I have to go to Arizona for a week on Allstate business. And-
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we got to thank Jim, too. Jim's the one
Yes,
that's listening to us right now.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. If I didn't mention your name, but I thank you for your contributions. And then thank you, Jeanette, for everything you do, and thank you for joining me today and your support of the
It's
small business.
educational, and it makes me feel closer to the community.
Wow.
And, you know, that's the whole thing, being able to share people's stories and how they got started in business and everything else. I so believe in entrepreneurship. It's tough. And, before those years of prosperity, you go through a lot of heartache.
Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you for everything. It's just, I know it's on my script, but I still want to thank you for everything.
I didn't know it was on your script.
No, but no, you mean a lot to me, and you mean a lot to the show. So I just personally always want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Justin.
So remember to join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. as we dive into the minds of local small business owners and even more insightful discussions. And a special thanks to our guest today, Enrique Calderon, owner of Evolution Heating and Air, for sharing his experience with us. Now, let's take care of business.